AITA for leaving my 24F BF 22 meters and going home without telling him. I was excited to go to a football game because he'd told me earlier this season he would take me and I'd kind of given up on the idea. Earlier in the day he told me about the plans and said he had to actually see if he could go, which I've asked him to ask for permission before telling me anything and getting my hopes up. I felt like there was a high chance he'd be able to go, so I teased him about telling me and he hung up without the usual "Eily." I was confused but shrugged it off. We get to the game, he's not holding my hand like usual, no hand on the waist, nothing. We go get some concessions and as we go to sit down his buddy pops up. My BF turns and hands me his food and drink. They hug and chat a bit. Mind you, I am behind him holding his stuff looking like a right fool. No introduction, nothing. I feel like I am back with my ex who never wanted to date me, just didn't want anyone else to, which is my problem, but that's how I felt. They end their interaction and he takes his things and we find a seat. He talks to the older man next to him and I just think it's friendly chat since he's just like that. Next thing I know, that same guy comes and sits next to us. Turns out the older man is his father, which is why we sat at this spot. They chat and after a couple minutes my BF turns and says, "Oh, this is my girlfriend _____." I give a meek smile and say hi and they turn and continue the conversation. The entire first half my BF doesn't touch me, asks me if I'm okay maybe twice more. He is talking to his friend the whole time with his back completely turned, hand on his thigh, with his elbow almost poking my eye out. I feel insignificant. Normally he's a gentleman and excited to show me off, but why not now? Halftime comes around and he asks if I am coming to stretch my legs. I follow him for a second and he mumbles that they're going to pee in the woods. Something they did in HS, I suppose. We get to the stairs and he barrels down them. I look up and I don't even see him. I'm honestly about to cry. He didn't look back to see I wasn't behind him once. I go into the stands to try to get a better look for him but give up honestly after a minute. I already feel embarrassed and empty. I go to the bathroom and then eventually start walking to the front. I figure my presence wasn't needed. I call a family member to pick me up and they do. He didn't even call me until I was in the car about 15 minutes later, which means he forgot about me for 15 minutes at least. That's how it felt. He hasn't said anything. AITA. Edit for clarification. It was his friend's father. We have had discussions about how football games would go, mostly him explaining what's going on. We only get one day a week to see each other usually. This was set up like a date, so I expected more attention. We have had discussions about him ignoring me and stuff in our relationship about 2 weeks prior. Update. We broke up.